Hey, YouTube channel members, so happy to see you again today. It's a lovely day today, and it really ties in with something that I wanted to talk to you about, which was the next phase of the journey, which really opened me up to this abundance thing that I was talking about in my emotional life, as well as, financially, and because I was in a financial hole when this all happened, when my life blew up. I was minus figures, and I couldn't, as you guys probably know if you've been following me, I didn't know how I was going to pay for this house. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I needed intervention, and I needed some guidance, and I needed a sign. And sure enough, as always happens, I had to really, sometimes I really have to ask, like, I heard that praying is asking the question and meditating is listening to the response. So I get the response in the book, and then very often, if it's not very clear, I have to sit and just meditate on what the words are that I got, and then it will become clear. But this particular time was very, very obvious. It was very obvious. So I was caught in a depressive state, depression. And I don't know if you saw my TikTok earlier on this week. I touched on this, but I didn't say on TikTok where I got it from, because it's a bigger platform, and I get attacked. And I don't want to talk about this on bigger platforms, because I only want people here who really are passionate about this stuff and are really, genuinely interested. So what was clear was the word depression in the scroll. It was very clear, but just PRS was capital. Like, as you know, it's this hand actually. It's just free form. Let the pen wander, and this was very clear depression, but PRES, was capitalized. PRES. So it was very obvious what the word was, and I was in that state. So I had to take a moment to just think, and I was going to meditate on it, and then it just became very obvious to me. Depression is depressing. All the feelings I had were being depressed down, and like my whole marriage fell apart, my whole life fell apart, because I was depressing all my feelings down, which is something I think we all do. I wasn't expressing my true self. I wasn't being my authentic self. For years, I was being a supporting character in someone else's life. And I was just depressed. All these feelings were being pushed down. And that's what caused me to want to end it, for sure. That's what it was. And it was very clear to me in this day that this happened. It was like, oh, that's why I did it. Because I wasn't being authentic. All my feelings were being depressed. That feeling of pressing down. If you push something down, it's like a real... Imagine pushing something down that's sort of trying to come up. Imagine the force of that. It would be a constant battle. And that's how I felt. So depression. I'd never seen it like that before. Pressing down on something that wants to come out. So my whole life, my emotional life, was just this constant struggle. And of course I wanted to end it. I didn't want that struggle anymore. It was too difficult. But I couldn't see what it was. So it just manifested as this dark, ever-present mood. And I didn't know what it was causing it. And I was trying to medicate it away, and it wasn't working. And I realized from this message that it had been months and months and years, maybe tens of years of pressing my authentic self down and not expressing my true feelings. And it was basically because I didn't want to be rejected or abandoned. This word, just one word, as often happens with this stuff, with this automatic writing, leads me to think about my whole life. And at this point, as I said, I was desperate. And I didn't know, this was financial abundance that came out of this, because I didn't know I was going to pay for this house. And once this was cleared, I felt like that my spiritual, emotional pathway was cleared, and it allowed something else to come in, which was a guidance about where to go to pay the mortgage, which was abundance, which is my first real manifested abundant thing. Now, I don't believe in manifestation, like human and manifestation that you see on Instagram, TikTok. I don't believe, manifest your life. I don't believe that we do it. It's God. It's God given. The manifestation is actually God giving you something, giving me something. So when I got rid of this depressing, this constant pressing, my higher power was able to shine. It was like a light, like a sunlight of the spirit light, was able to crack through the dark clouds, and it was like, this is something you can do, which was continuing with videos, and that's one of the reasons I kept going. And that has been paying my mortgage, as well as mainly it's a passion, and mainly I need to do it. I can't not do it, because if I don't get this stuff out, I'm pushing it down again. I'm pushing down my authentic self if I don't express it like I'm expressing it now. But one of the side effects of it was that it got me out of that financial problem. So it was a real lesson in abundance coming from a higher power, not me. I spent years going, manifestation, visualize. That's not it. I genuinely believe it comes from a higher power, and it's manifesting. It's not manifesting because I'm not doing it, but whatever that word is when it's coming from outside, I need to think of a word for it. Write in the comments if you've got a suggestion for when something manifests in your life, but it came from your higher power, not from you. I feel like manifestation is so tied to those Instagram influencer people. It's just icky to me. But so it ties in with my faith, and it's kind of emotional thinking about this time, because I didn't know if I was going to make it. I really didn't. On all counts in my life, I didn't know if I was going to make it. Financially, emotionally, spiritually. But it's all, if I look back, if I could step back a year and say to that guy, it's going to all be okay. I'm going to be dealing with a lot of internet hate, but it's fine. I'd much rather be where I am now than then. So, but yeah, so that's today's episode is all about that reframing of depression in my head, from the word depression with the P-R-E-S capital. It was capital. The rest of it was sort of lowercase. So it was very obviously, thank you. It was very obviously a way to relook at this thing that had been ruling my life. So this stuff works. I don't know how it works, but it works. And thank God for it. Literally, thank God for it. So yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like there was something else I needed to tell you. I don't know if you know, but I had a traumatic week last week of being kicked off all the social media platforms. So I really don't want to lose you guys if anything ever happens. It just showed me, I've been reinstated, but it just showed me how precarious it can be on these platforms. So I don't want to lose contact with you, especially you guys, because you're like my inner circle. So please sign up to the mailing list. It's free, stephenhilton.net. I won't be sending a lot of it. It's me doing it, so I'm not going to be sending emails. Those annoying emails you get from companies. You buy something and then they keep emailing you. This is me. It's only me in this whole business here is me, just me. So if you get an email, it's from me. I did it. So I'm not going to be doing it very often, but I'll do it when something important happens. But I want to have you easy contactable. It's just make me feel safer. And I want a direct connection with you. So stephenhilton.net. Go there and just sign up to the mailing list for me. I love you guys. Until next week, take care.